Life at home isn't always glamorous. In fact, it's often repetitive, messy, and quiet. But in those ordinary moments, I've found something more lasting than excitement. I've found peace. This is the first episode in a little series that I'm calling Blessed in the Everyday, where I share moments I'm grateful for, the kind that might be easy to miss, but stay with you the longest. Sometimes the same tasks repeat every single day. Dishes, baking and cooking, diapers, cleaning the same spots, but there's a kind of comfort in that rhythm. Serving my family quietly and faithfully has shown me how deeply homemaking can reflect God's love. It may be hard for me to get a break, if at all, but I do get to have a purpose. There are certainly hard days, the kind where I feel like I can't get ahead, but those don't last forever. Little things pull me back, like flowers blooming near the steps that I never planted, or a moment when one of my girls just soaks up life, or even the chance to feed my family something homemade. I try to pause and be thankful, not because everything's perfect, but because God is still present. Now that Easter or Pascha has come and gone, we are finally able to eat foods that aren't Lenten or fast friendly, so we can have dairy products and meat products. And so I have been having a lot of fun meal planning, if you will, the past couple weeks. Tonight I'm going to be making lasagna. I'm just gonna kind of throw it together quickly. I used to make lasagna with all kinds of different cheeses, such as ricotta cheese, and I would even use cream cheese, which made it turn out really good. But today I'm just going to use some simple cottage cheese and a couple blends of shredded cheese that I picked up from the store. One of the things that I love about lasagna is how, at least in my household, it lasts a long time because we only have the two small girls and they don't eat a whole lot. So making lasagna means that I don't have to cook as much the next couple days. Instead, I can focus my time on baking instead, which is what I love to do more. Let me know down below if you like cooking or if you like baking more. I would love to know. I know it might seem a little strange that I'm just putting some meat down and then I'm going to be adding the sauce, and it's not like a meat sauce mixture. I'm going to be mixing it right there on the noodles, but that's because I was trying to think ahead and I thought, well, maybe I'll have some meat left over that I could use for something else, like burritos or some other type of meal. But then I realized that I have just enough meat, so I ended up mixing everything together anyway. And then the different cheeses that I added to the lasagna were, like I said, cottage cheese, and then I had some mozzarella, Parmesan, and I had this Fiesta blend in my fridge as well. On top, I'm just adding a little bit of extra oregano to really bring it together. And this is how it turned out. Honestly, I was feeling a little bit discouraged the last couple weeks because all of our home decor is pretty much packed away because we are getting ready for a move. But I like to listen to the Simple Farmhouse Life podcast. Now, this podcast is by Lisa Bass. She's from the blog and YouTube channel Farmhouse on Boone, and I really draw a lot of inspiration from her. I actually asked her a question a few weeks ago about what I could do to make my house feel a little more cozy, because she's kind of in a similar situation where they're building a house and they're going to be moving soon here, God willing, as well. And so She said that having baked goods on the counter and fresh flowers can really make your space feel more cozy and inviting, even if you don't have a lot of decor around the house. And so I thought that I would go outside and cut some of the irises that grow right next to my house, and I would just leave them in the center of the table. Now I also got some greenery, which I didn't end up adding to my bouquet just because I felt like it looked a little too much, but I think that these purple irises on their own look absolutely beautiful. When it comes to breakfast, I don't like to overdo it. I like to keep things simple just because I'm not really a morning person. So today I decided to just have a cup of tea and a simple bowl of oatmeal. This week, I finally got around to making some sourdough morning glory muffins. This recipe is over on the blog. I've been looking forward to it for a while now. Something about baking makes a house feel like a home, like I mentioned earlier. It wasn't perfect. I had to keep stopping to check on the girls. I spilled flour and raisins and coconut everywhere, but the smell, the warmth, it just made everything feel so cozy and peaceful. Even though it took longer than expected, I was grateful just to do it. Morning Glory muffins are a mix of a bunch of different things. There's carrots, apple, zucchini. Also, there's raisins or craisins if you'd like. You can also put coconut in it as well. And my recipe calls for orange juice, which I know sounds like a bunch of really random and weird things to put together, but trust me, it's actually very good. My inspiration to do this recipe actually came from a local coffee shop. So this local coffee shop serves Morning Glory muffins. They make them fresh every week, and so I thought it would be really fun to make my own variation of them using sourdough. And so that is what I did. These muffins actually originate from Nantucket Island in Massachusetts, and they were created in 1978 actually. Now, like I said, my recipe calls for craisins, but I didn't have any on hand, so I decided to improvise a little bit and use these golden raisins that I had left over from Pascha. In my recipe, I also say to use coconut flakes, if I remember correctly, but I really wanted to use these coconut chips up because I've had them for a while, and so I decided to just do that. Honestly, if I were to go back, I'd probably break them up into smaller pieces, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. One of the things that I love about these muffins though is how colorful they are with all of the orange and speckles of green from the zucchini. I think they're really pretty. I'm actually really surprised at how fast muffins come together, especially if you are just in the kitchen by yourself and you don't really have any kids that you have to watch or try and entertain and multitask while trying to bake something. Of course, I had my girls with me and my husband wasn't home this day, but I was still able to get them together and get them in the oven relatively fast because Isadora, my youngest, was taking her nap. Muffins are also so great if you're looking for something that you can just store in the freezer and take out in a few months. They usually keep really well in the freezer, and so I like to also just make them to have on hand in case I get some company that I wasn't expecting and I need a last minute treat to just pull out and serve everybody. And here is the final product. I got this cake stand from my mom for my birthday. I absolutely love the color and I think that it makes such a pretty thing to display my baked goods on. Something else that I've been trying to do lately is getting outside more with the girls. If you don't notice already, I have these little wristbands on that are actually weights, and I've been wearing those around, especially walking or just doing things around the house. And I hope that maybe I'll see some improvements as far as just like toning my arms and stuff, but we will see. I've also rediscovered my love for mochas, and so I've been making my own homemade mochas lately. All I use for that is some Dutch process cocoa powder with a little bit of sweetened condensed milk and maple syrup, and it is really, really good. So if you haven't ever made your own homemade mocha, I would certainly recommend it. And then I just wanted to quickly share this paint by number kit that I got a few weeks ago. It comes with everything you need: a frame, a canvas, paintbrushes, paints, a protective piece of plastic to go over the painting, a reference picture, and of course the paper with all the numbers on it. So if you're looking for a relaxing project to do that doesn't require much skill at all, then I would highly recommend this. The frame is even magnetic, so it can stick right to your fridge if you don't want to display it on a shelf or a table or hang it up on the wall. My sister and I both got these kits from Michael's. I just lastly wanted to reflect on when everything feels heavy, I just remind myself that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. Of course, I'm not the best at reminding myself of this, but it's okay and it's human. It's part of motherhood. But I also remind myself that I don't have to go through this alone. God strengthens us through the hard, and He sends peace, often through little things. Sometimes I go outside, I play a song that lifts my spirit, or I treat myself to a quiet moment like this where I just work on a paint by number. All of these things are ways that can help. So I just wanted to take a moment to chat quick about this lady that I met in a YouTuber group actually on Facebook. Her son has a wonderful YouTube channel that is geared towards children. It's wholesome father-son content. He likes to vlog about just his day-to-day life as well as baseball games, fishing, that sort of thing. So if you're looking for some clean and wholesome content that's appropriate for your kids to watch, then be sure to go check him out. His channel is called Lance Miller, and he's just really a sweet boy. His mom does all the editing, and so as a family they work together on these videos, and they're just very sweet and wholesome, like I said, appropriate for kids who are maybe school age, so definitely go check him out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is episode 1 of my Blessed in the Everyday series. And so this week's video was focused on homemaking. And lastly, I just want to thank you guys all so much for being here. I hope that this video can serve as a reminder that these small, repetitive moments that we do every single day do matter, and that they don't go unnoticed by God or our families. They are all incredibly grateful that we're here doing this work. And so thank you. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I will see you again next time. I hope you all have a wonderful, peaceful week, and bye.